everyone! In today's tutorial we are going to be crocheting Grandma's German Shells Shawl. For more information, please check out the drop-down description box. This is a paid pattern and you can find it on Etsy or Ravelry. For this shawl you will need about 1,700 yards of worsted weight yarn. I am using 3.5 skeins of this Super Saver ombre. You will also need a G 4.25mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle. To begin, create a slip knot. Insert your hook into the slip knot and pull your working yarn to cinch down that slip knot. Now chain 10. To chain, yarn over and pull through your knot. 1, 2, 3. Never count this loop on your hook. We're then going to continue and chain 10. After you have chained 10, slip stitch to your very first chain. Insert your hook, grab your working yarn and pull it through and then through the loop on your hook. For row 1, I am going to use a chainless starting double crochet. You can chain 3 instead of doing this if you prefer. I do recommend this chainless starting double crochet for all of the Virus or German Shells patterns. To create a chainless starting double crochet, you're going to pull this first loop up, like so, until it's almost as tall as a double crochet. We're then going to hold it onto the hook with our first finger here like this, and wrap our hook around that loop as if it's yarning over. We're then going to insert into the ring, grab our working yarn, and pull up a loop. Here we have what resembles 3 loops on our hook, still holding that first loop with my finger. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops. And there we have something that looks like a double crochet. We're then going to place 19 more double crochet into this ring. To create a normal double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, grab your yarn and pull up a loop. We have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops. Continue around until you have a total of 20 double crochet. And of course, we're counting this first double crochet here. Here is row 1 complete. Before we begin row 2, I just want to make sure that if you did chain 3, that you definitely count that as your first double crochet. To begin row 2, you can turn first if you like, chain 3, that will count as your first double crochet, or you can do like me and do the alternative or chainless starting double crochet. So again, I'm pulling up my loop, holding that loop with my finger, wrapping my hook around that loop, insert your hook into the very first stitch, grab your yarn and pull up a loop. We now have what resembles 3 loops on our hook, still holding that loop with my finger. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. So there we have our first double crochet, and then simply place 1 double crochet into each of our previous stitches all the way across. At the end of row 2, I will meet back up again for row 3. Here I am at the end of row 2, and of course we need 20 double crochet on this row. So when you get to this alternative double crochet, your stitch may not look, the top of it may not look like a regular stitch. So you want to make sure and not accidentally skip that stitch. Always count your stitches after the row if you like. But make sure you go into that stitch and you can just grab those 2 loops on the side, and that will count as the top of your stitch. And then I also wanted to talk about this center loop a little bit. Sometimes our work goes a little bit further than we want it to, and because we're just looping around this starting chain here, our stitches will slide on that chain a little bit, as you see. All right, we're ready to begin row 3. After you have turned your work to begin row 3, you want to chain 3 plus 1 for a double crochet or plus chain 1. Or you can do the alternative double crochet, starting double crochet. So I'm going to do that. And then chain 1. Then you're just going to do that into each stitch all the way across. So double crochet, chain 1. Here is my work at the end of row 3, and I have 20 double crochet, all separated by a chain 1. To begin row 4, turn your work and chain 5. We're then going to skip 2 double crochet, 1, 2, and single crochet into this chain space right here. To single crochet, insert your hook, grab your yarn and pull up a loop. We have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Now we're going to make 3 chain 3s. For our first chain 3, we're going to chain 3, skip 2 double crochet, and single crochet into the following chain space. And do that again, chain 3, skip 2 double crochet, and single crochet into the following chain space. And then one more time. Chain 3, skip 2 double crochet, and single crochet into the following chain space. So now we have our chain 5 and 3 chain 3s. From here we're going to create a corner. So this is going to be the tip of our shawl here. Chain 5, skip 2 double crochet, and single crochet into that chain space. Chain 5 again. Skip 2 double crochet, and single crochet into that next chain space. Now create 3 chain 3s. So we're going to mimic just like what we did on this side. Chain 3, skip 2 double crochet, and single crochet. Chain 3, skip 2 double crochet, and single crochet. One more time. Chain 3, skip 2 double crochet, and single crochet. And for this last spot here, we're going to mirror this side over here and chain 5. Then single crochet into the top of that double crochet. We have a chain 5, 3 chain 3s, 2 chain 5s, that's the corner of the shawl, and then 3 chain 3s, and a chain 5. To begin row 5, turn your work. You can now do a chain 3 or the chainless starting double crochet. Then place 9 more double crochet into this chain 5 space here. Now we have a total of 10 double crochet into that first chain 5 loop. Single crochet into your next chain 3 loop, or this first chain 3 loop. And now we're going to place 2 chain 3s over this space. So chain 3, single crochet into the second chain 3 loop. Chain 3, and single crochet into the last chain 3 loop. Now going right from that single crochet, we're going to place 10 double crochet into each one of these chain 5 loops here. So right from that single crochet, yarn over to create the double crochet. Go ahead and place 10 double crochet into each one of these loops, and then I can meet back up with you. At the end of row 5, this is how my work looks. To begin row 6, turn your work, chain 3, or do your chainless starting double crochet. Then place 1 double crochet into each of your previous double crochets on these arches. This is our second arches row. So on each one of these arches here, we should have 10 double crochet. Once we get to those 2 chain 3s, we want to go right from our double crochet and single crochet into that first chain, and then create 1 chain here. So we're going to chain 3, single crochet into the second chain, and then going right from that double crochet or that single crochet there, we're going to place 1 double crochet into each of our next 20 stitches. So across that corner there. Once these 20 double crochet are complete, I can show you how my work is looking and we can finish up. Row 6. After you've done those 20 double crochet, you're going to single crochet into that first of the 2 chain 3s, chain 3, single crochet into the last of those 2 chain 3s, and then go right from that single crochet and place 10 more double crochet over this arch here. Here is how my work looks at the end of row 6, and I just wanted to show you how it likes to ripple and kind of curve up at you a little bit like this, and you can just flatten it out and it's all set to go. For row 7, the chain 1 arches row, you're going to turn your work. And for this row, we're going to be doing what we did down here and double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So if you're chaining, you want to chain 4. That's 3 chains for your double crochet and a chain 1. Otherwise, I'm going to start with the chainless starting double crochet. Chain 1. Then double crochet into your next stitch, chain 1. You're going to do that all the way across here until we have 10 double crochet, all separated by a chain 1. Now for this last double crochet right here, you're just going to double crochet and don't chain 1, just leave it at the double crochet. We're then going to skip this chain 3 here and go straight into a double crochet over here. And chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. You're then going to continue doing that chain or double crochet, chain 1 all the way across here, and of course you have 20 double crochet right here. And then you'll mirror what we did here and not chain 1, you're just going to double crochet, skip the chain 3 and double crochet into this very first stitch on this side, chain 1, and then complete your work like that. So as you see here, those 2 double crochet just meet right up, there's no chain, and that's over those single chain 3s. At the end of this row, I'll meet back up again and show you how my work is looking. Here is my work at the end of row 7. To begin row 8, turn your work. And let's talk about row 8 for a minute before we get going. So row 8 is a valley loopy row, and this is the same row that we did down here where we chained 5, 3 chain 3s, chain 5, chain 5. So we're going to be doing that up here again, except we are going to have a chain 5 over this valley right here. So we're going to chain 5, 3 chain 3s, chain 5, 3 chain 3s, then a double chain 5 right here, 3 chain 3s, chain 5 over that valley, 3 chain 3s, and lastly a chain of 5. So let's begin that by chaining 5. Skip 2 double crochet and single crochet into that chain space. Then 3 chain 3s. We're skipping those 2 double crochet again. Chain 3, single crochet, and chain 3, single crochet. And then here we are at that valley. So for these valley spaces, we're going to chain 5 and skip 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then single crochet into that following chain space. And then 3 chain 3s. And we're at the top or the corner, so we're going to do 2 chain 5s. Then 3 chain 3s. And we're at that valley again, so we want to skip the 4 double crochet and chain 5 and single crochet. Then 3 chain 3s. And lastly, we want a chain 5. Single crochet into the top of that last double crochet. So here's a quick recap of row 8. We have a chain 5, 3 chain 3s, chain 5, 3 chain 3s, 2 chain 5s, 3 chain 3s, chain 5, 3 chain 3s, and lastly a chain of 5. So as you see here from the pattern, we will always be having 3 chain 3s in between these chains of 5. To begin row 9, first arches row, turn your work. For this row, we're going to be mimicking this row down here and place 10 double crochet into each one of these chain 5 spaces. Over the chain 3s, we will be chaining 2. So of course, chain 3 or do your starting double crochet. Then place 9 more double crochet into that first chain 5 space. Single crochet into your first chain 3 and chain 3. We're making 2 chain 3s. Then place 10 double crochet into this chain 5 here. And now we're just going to continue in this fashion all the way across. So 10 double crochets into your chain 5 spaces. And then 2 chain 3s over your 3 chain 3s. Once we get to the end of this row, I will meet back up and show you how my work is looking. I want to take a quick minute here and talk about row 9, this row that we just finished. So row 9, or the first arches round, is an extremely important row in this pattern. First of all, because if you don't have your 10 double crochet into each one of these chain 5 loops, the pattern gets thrown off. So you absolutely need the 10 double crochet. The other tip that I wanted to show you is that when counting your double crochets, it's very easy to accidentally count this loop from your chain 3 as a post of your double crochet. So let's look at that a little bit closer here. As you see, this right here is the chain 3. And then there's your post for the double crochet. So sometimes it's easy to just go like this. You go 2, 4, 6, 8, and you count these posts of the stitches. Well, on occasion, I will go and count that chain as one of my posts, and you definitely don't want to do that because then you'll be short a double crochet. All right, so there is row 9 all finished, and let's begin row 10. To begin row 10, the second arches round, I have turned my work and chain 3 or chainless double crochet to begin. And then just simply place 1 double crochet into each of your previous stitches over the arches. So 10 double crochet. Now on this row, of course, we're going to be doing 1 chain 3. And then going right from that single crochet into your double crochet. So you want to just continue in this fashion all the way across, placing 1 double crochet into each of your previous double crochets. So 10 double crochet here, and then 1 chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, and 10 double crochet. Once you get to this double up here, you want to you want to do 20 double crochet across those, and then just complete the row. Once this row is finished, I can show you how my work is looking. So here is row 10, all finished. Row 11 is a chain 1 arches row, so I have turned to begin. And again, it's just down here. We do a double crochet and then chain 1 and double crochet. This is that row where we're going to be meeting our double crochets over the chain 1 space, or this single chain 3 here. So do a chain 3 plus chain 1 if you're chaining, so 4 chains, or do your starting double crochet and chain 1, then double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. chain 1. And then once we get over here, just make sure you're double crocheting, skipping the chain 3 and double crocheting. Make sure you don't chain 1 between those spaces. I'm sure it won't hurt, but try not to. Make them meet up together like we did down here. So once this row is finished, I can show you how it looks. Here is my work after row 11, chain 1 arches row. Now we will begin the 6 block stitch rows. For row 12, you want to chain 4 or starting double crochet, chain 1 into this first double crochet here. Now place 3 double crochet into this first chain space right here. Skip 2 double crochet and place 3 double crochet into the next chain space. Continue in this fashion all the way across for this row. What you want to do is make sure that you don't have any chains between these blocks of 3 double crochet, and always be skipping 2 double crochet and then placing your block. Once you get over to these valley areas here, you're going to be doing the same thing. So there's going to be a block here, skipping these 2 double crochet, and a block on this side. I can show you how that looks, and of course just do all the way across this same routine, and then once we get over here I can finish this row up and show you how my work is looking. And again, this is how that valley looks. So once we get to the end of row 12, this is how the end is looking for me. And after you place that very last block, you just want to chain 1 and then double crochet into the top of that last double crochet there. Then you can turn your work and begin the next row. And again, here is row 12, all finished. Turn to begin row 13. Now for row 13, I just want to talk about it just for 1 minute and also grab a piece of yarn or stitch marker. For this row, we are going to be placing a block or 3 double crochet into each space between our previous blocks. Once we get up to this corner of our shawl here, we want to place a double block directly in the middle of this space here. So I wanted to show you how I do that. And of course we have 10 blocks. If you're looking at your work like this, here are the 2 valleys on each side. You're going to have 10 blocks all the way up and around like this. So what I like to do is count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And into this chain space here, go ahead and put a stitch marker or a piece of yarn. So that's where our double block is going to go. So it's going to create a sharp corner like this. And then again on the other side you should have 5 of these blocks for till this valley here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To start row 13, chain 4 or starting double crochet, chain 1. Then into this first chain space here, we're going to place our first block. So 3 double crochet. Then simply skip this block here and place 3 double crochet into the space between the blocks here. You want to continue in this fashion all the way until you get to our stitch marker up there at the top of the work. Once we're up here, I will meet with you and we can do our double block. Here I am ready to do my double block. I'm up at the top of my work. And a double block is simply 3 double crochet, chain 1, and 3 more double crochet into the same space. So block, chain 1, and block. My stitch marker is getting in the way here. And then you just want to complete the row just how we've been doing and place one block into each one of the spaces between each of our previous blocks. Once you get to the end of this row, you again want to place a block in this very last space here, chain one, and double crochet into the very end double crochet here. Turn to begin row 14. Then chain 4, or starting double crochet, chain 1. Then simply place a block into your first chain space here, and then we're going to place a block into each one of these spaces between our blocks. Once we get up to this double block up here, we want to make sure and place a double block into this chain 1 space here. So double block here. Go all the way to the end, place a block into this chain 1 space here, then chain 1 and double crochet into your last double crochet. Once this row is complete, I will meet back up with you to show you how it looks. So this is the end of the row. And then here is the top with the double blocks. Double crochet 3, chain 1, double crochet 3 into each one of my chain 1 spaces. For row 15, 16, and 17, just repeat the row we just did, which was row 14. Here is my work after row 17. Now for this shawl, rows 18 through 35 will be repeated until the shawl is of desired size. For my cream colored shawl, I repeated rows 18 through 35 2.5 times. So I repeated rows 18 through 35 twice, and then I went ahead and wanted to do the German Shells part again. So I did rows 18 through 29. Then I added the Picot edging. So that's of course optional, the Picot. But from here, I'm just going to do those repeats with you, and then you can complete your shawl just how you like it. Row 18 is going to be a loopy row. So down here where we made these chain 5s and then 3 chain 3s, we're going to be doing that up here. So of course we're going to start with a big chain 5 and then 3 chain 3s, big chain 5. We're going to repeat that all the way up to here, and then 2 chain 5s at the top here, and then 3 chain 3s, chain 5, repeat that all the way down this side, and then end with a large loop chain 5 here. So let's go ahead and start that. Chain 5 to start row 18. Skip this first block here and single crochet into this space between the blocks. Then make 3 chain 3s. Chain 3, skip 1 block and single crochet. Chain 3 for the second time, skip 1 block and single crochet. Our last chain 3, skip our last block here and single crochet. And now chain 5. Your chain 5s, you want to skip 2 blocks. So I'm skipping 2 blocks and single crochet. Then make 3 chain 3s. For the chain 3, again, we're only skipping 1 block. And then this is going to be the repeat. Chain 5, skip 2 blocks and single crochet. Then make 3 chain 3s, chain 3, skip a block, single crochet, chain 3, skip a block, single crochet, chain 3, skip a block, and single crochet. Repeat that all the way until you get to the top here, and then I will meet back up with you. So here I am at the corner of my work up on top here, and I've ended with my last set of 3 chain 3s, and it's going to end right here. You then have your double block, so you want to chain 5 and single crochet in that chain 1 here. Then chain 5 again, skip that second part of the double block there, and single crochet. One thing I did want to add about this row is you want to be chaining kind of loosely so that your chains lay flat on top of your work. Otherwise, you might end up with some buckling going on like this. If your chains are just too tight, your work will do something like that. So just chain nice and loosely, just keep it relaxed, and then you're going to finish this row. From here, we're just going to do 3 chain 3s, chain 5, and then this is going to be the start of our repeat. So chain 5, 3 chain 3s, all the way to the end. And another reminder, after you do a chain 5, you always want to have 3 chain 3s in between. So as you see here, chain 5, and in between are my 3 chain 3s. The last step for row 18 is to chain 5 and single crochet into the top of this very last double crochet here. And then turn to begin row 19. Row 19 is a first arches row, so it's going to be similar to this one down here, where you just place 10 double crochet into each of your chain 5s and 2 chain 3s over your 3 chain 3s. So to begin, you want to chain 3 or do your starting double crochet. You can just go right into that chain 5 and then place 9 more double crochet. Going from your last double crochet, single crochet into your first chain 3, then chain 3, single crochet into your second chain 3, chain 3, single crochet into the last chain 3, then go right from that single crochet into 10 double crochet of the chain 5 space here. From here, we're just going to repeat this. So we have 10 double crochet in each of our chain 5 spaces, and then working 2 chain 3s over our 3 chain 3s. Continue all the way up, and then once you get here, you're going to place 20 double crochet, so 10 double crochet in each one of these chain 5s. Then of course you're going to have your 2 chain 3s over these 3 chain 3s. All the way down, you're going to work in that manner, and then once you get to here, you want to place the 10 double crochet into your last chain 5 and turn to begin the next row. Here is row 19 all finished. And now we can begin row 20. Row 20 is going to be the second arches row, and that is 1 double crochet into each of our previous double crochets, 10 double crochet, and then work 1 chain 3 over these chain 2. So single crochet, chain 3, single crochet. Continue in this fashion all the way up your shawl, And once you get to here, of course, you're going to place your 20 double crochet, just like we did down here. And then work along all the way till you get to the end. Once you get to the end and place your last 10 double crochet, turn and we can begin row 21. Here is my work after row 20, the second arches row. Turn your work to begin row 21, chain 1 arches row. This row we're going to be double crocheting, chaining 1 into each one of our previous double crochets here. Once we get to this chain 1 space, our double crochets are just going to meet together. So just like we did down here. Chain 4 or starting double crochet, chain 1. Then double crochet and chain 1 into each one of these double crochet. Once you get to here, just double crochet and then skip this chain and double crochet into the next double crochet. Here is what that looks like. Once this row is complete, I'll meet back up for the next row. Here is row 21 all finished for me. And now turn to begin row 22. Row 22 is our valley loopy row again, and we already did this row. We did it down here where we did a chain 5, 3 chain 3s, chain 5, skipping those 4 double crochet down here, and then we did, of course, our corner right away. For this particular row, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to have more of these side loops here. So more of those skipping 4 double crochet. Again here, so we're going to do our first chain 5, skipping these first 2 double crochet, single crocheting into that double, or this chain 1 here, 3 chain 3s, chain 5, 3 chain 3s, chain 5, and repeat it all the way up. Once you get to the top and corner of your shawl here, of course we're going to do our chain 5s in these valleys on each side, 3 chain 3s, and then at the very top we're going to do the 2 chain 5s together. So just like we did down here. Begin by chaining 5. Single crocheting, and now 3 chain 3s. Now we're at the valley, so we're going to skip these 4 double crochet and chain 5. And 3 chain 3s again. Now we're just going to repeat this all the way up, chain 5 and 3 chain 3s. Once this row is finished, I will meet back up for the next row. Okay, so before we move on to row 23, let's look at row 22 again. So I've got my chain 5s and my 3 chain 3s all in between. Once you get up to the top here, you want to make sure you have your chain 5 here, 3 chain 3s, and then these 2 chain 5s on top here, we skip just 2 double crochet each. See, 2 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and then do our 3 chain 3s, and then of course the next chain 5 comes over this valley here. Another quick note that I wanted to mention for this particular pattern, if you're not getting your 3 chain 3s in here and your chain 5s to balance out properly with your double crochet, you're probably missing double crochet from the previous rows. So down here where we put the 20 double crochet, so we have 10 double crochet, 10 double crochet. Sometimes we miscount and we only get 9 or 8, and then we're off once we get up to here. So we want to make sure we definitely have our 20 double crochet for this row previously here. That way this valley loopy row will come out properly. At the very end of row 22, we have a chain 5 here, 3 chain 3s, and then you're going to end with a chain 5 Turn and begin row 23. Row 23 is that very important row where we get 10 double crochet into each one of our chain 5s, and we work 2 chain 3s over our 3 chain 3s. So I'll go ahead and start that and show you how it's looking. For this row, as a reminder, begin with a chain 3 or a starting double crochet. Row 23, the first arches row, this is how it looks. So we have 10 double crochet into each of our chain 5s, and then we go right from that double crochet into a single crochet into your first chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3, single crochet into the last chain 3. So we have 2 chain 3s. Then going right from that single crochet, we double crochet 10. You're going to work all the way up. When you get to the top, this is how that looks. 2 chain 3s, and then our 20 double crochet, and then 2 chain 3s, work all the way back down, and then make sure you place that 10 double crochet into your last loop. Turn to begin row 24, the second arches row. The second arches row we've already done as well. It's where we place the double crochet into each of our previous double crochet, and then place 1 chain 3 over our chain 2. So double crochet into each double crochet, 10 double crochet, single crochet into our first chain 3 loop, chain 3, single crochet into the second chain 3 loop, and then double crochet. Begin with a chain 3 or starting double crochet. Once this row is complete, I will catch back up and show you how it looks. Here I have completed row 24, the second arches row, and this is how my work looks. Row 25 is the chain 1 arches row, so it's going to be this row that we did down here. You're just going to chain 4 or starting double crochet chain 1, double crochet chain 1 all the way across each arch. And then when you get to the chain 1 here, you're just going to make those 2 double crochet meet together. Work all the way across your work, and then of course the double crochet chain 1 across that big arch there should be 20. And once this row is complete, I can show you how it looks. Before we continue, I just wanted to show you how my work looks before I flatten it out with my hands. But you can also fix that with blocking once you're done with your shawl. Here is row 25 all finished for me. And from here we are going to repeat the last 4 rows that we just did. Our next row, which is row 26, will be the valley loopy row, and that's a repeat of row 22. It's right down here. And then row 27 will be first arches row, repeat of row 23. Row 28 is going to be the second arches row, repeat of row 24. Row 29 will be the row we just completed here, which is the chain 1 arches row, and a repeat of row 25. Once those next 4 rows are complete, I will meet back up with you and we will start some block stitches. Alright, here I have just completed row 29, and of course when you're done with your shawl, you feel like it's the right size. After you've completed your last block row here, what you're going to do is just repeat rows 18 through 29, which is just this part right here. So there's 18, there's 29, and that will finish off your shawl with these German shells. From here we're going to do rows 30 through 35, and it's just going to be these block rows down here, just like we did here. Begin with a chain of 4 or starting double crochet and chain 1. Then place your first block into this first chain space here. So 3 double crochet all together. Then you're going to do a repeat all the way up your work and across. So you're going to skip 2 double crochet and into the next space place 3 double crochet or a block. Once we get to the end, I will show you how my work looks and we can meet up for row 31. So row 30 is basically just a repeat of row 12, and the last thing you want to do for this row is place your last block and then chain 1 and double crochet into your last double crochet there. Another reminder for row 30, just like for row 12, this is how those valleys are supposed to look. Row 31 is just a repeat of row 13, and you're going to start in the same fashion, chaining 4 or starting double crochet and chain 1. Then place a block into this first space here and 1 block into each one of those spaces between your blocks all the way up to the top of your work. So I have my first block there and then working straight into this next space. Once you get all the way up to the top of your shawl, we want to do the same thing that we did for row 13. You're going to count 5 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then into that space, the next space, you're going to place a stitch marker or a piece of yarn, whatever you like, and that's where your double block is going to go for this row. And then double check that you have 5 blocks on the other side of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As a quick reminder, your double block is block, chain 1, block into the same space. At the end of your block rows, you want to make sure and chain 1, then double crochet into your last double crochet. Otherwise, you will be missing this space, this first space here. Row 32 through 35, you're just going to be placing a block into each of your spaces here between your blocks. And then once you get up to your double block space, make sure and place a double block into that corner space. While I work on the repeats of the pink shawl, I want to show you this cream colored shawl and try to be a little bit more clear on what I mean about the repeats. For my shawl, I completed rows 18 through 35 2.5 times. So here's once, 18 through 35, and there's twice, 18 through 35. And then for the half, rows 18 through 29, so that we end with that German shell. From here, I'm going to add a picot to this shawl and also add some single crochet rows to the flat edge right here. Before adding my picot row, I'm going to add 2 rows of single crochet to the very flat edge of my shawl. Now it doesn't matter how many single crochet you have, as long as you just evenly single crochet across so it all looks nice. Again, I'm just going to be going into the sides of those double crochets like this, I think. And of course your single crochet is, you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both. And you just want to make sure your single crochet are nice and neat as you can. So after you have completed that first row, you're just going to chain 1, turn, and place 1 single crochet into each of your previous stitches. And this is 2 rows of single crochet for me. It's looking really straight on camera, but it's got a little bit of character to it. I'm not going to tell you how many stitches I have for these 2 finishing rows here. It's really unnecessary. I didn't even count it. Just make sure that you like how it looks, and if you don't like how it looks, take it out and adjust your stitches. From here, I'm going to show you how to add the picots to this edge. Of course, you don't have to do this. You can always just leave this edge just how it is. For the picot edging, we're going to be working into these chain 1 spaces of this last row. So just because I came from those 2 rows of single crochet on this side, I'm going to be single crocheting into this first little space right here, and then single crocheting into that next space and doing a picot. So chain 3, slip stitch to your first chain here, or I like to grab these 2 side loops of the single crochet like this and just do my slip stitch. So I'm just pulling my yarn through and through, and it creates this little picot here. Now we're just going to repeat this all the way across. So single crochet into your next space, then single crochet into the following space, and picot. Single crochet, picot. Keep repeating this all the way across, and when this is finished for me, I will meet back up and show you how it looks. Here's my picot row all finished. And when you get to these valley areas right here, you want to treat this space just like you would the chain 1 spaces. Go ahead and sew in all your ends. You can block your work if you like, and then enjoy your new beautiful shawl. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely crochet day, and to see you again in my next tutorial. Bye!